Centuries have passed, but our order has remained steadfast in its sacred mission to preserve the balance between man and half-breed.
What's up everybody, Matt from TGI here, bringing you our review of The Order 1886 on the PlayStation 4. So this game was made by the studios Ready at Dawn and Sony Santa Monica. Sony Santa Monica you might recognise as the name that brought you the God of War series. So a pretty reputable developer and also a very highly anticipated game. The Order has been talked about for a long time, ever since it got previewed a couple of years ago. And in the lead up to its release, there was a lot of kind of bad press on the internet, and then also when it's been reviewed this past week, there's been a mixed reaction to it. Yeah, I know I'm a bit late. I'm sorry, I've been busy this week, but ignoring everything that's been not ignoring everything, I want to address firstly the rumours that the game is only 5 hours long. That's wrong. I would be very impressed if you could complete this game in 5 hours. I played this on a normal difficulty, and I wouldn't say I looked at every corner, but I enjoyed my experience as I went along the way, and I spent 9 hours. And as I said, I didn't go in every corner. I had to go back and play the game again. Well, I didn't have to, but I wanted to play it again so I could get all the collectibles and then get the Platinum Trophy. Number 10, by the way. But anyway, so 9 hours is a decent length game. And regards to kind of the criticism on the internet, obviously it's been very mixed in terms of reviews. I have read some of the reviews, obviously, but I'm not going to let them sway my opinion. Either way, I'm going to give you my honest assessment of this game in this video over the next few minutes, and then kind of give you a score and let you know whether or not you should pick it up. So if game reviews is something that you're interested in, or game news, or just any game chat really, please do subscribe to our channel, because we do have regular videos every week where we discuss basically all things video games, and also share us with your friends if they're into that kind of thing as well. So, The Order 1886. Let's go straight into the story here. It is set in a alternate history of London, and basically you work as a member of the Knights Order, and this was set up by King Arthur, and the point of this order was put into place in order to help protect the realm from half-breeds, or as we may or commonly know them as, werewolves. So the first thing that I will say on the werewolves thing is, and I'm sure I'm not the only one out there, when I saw these trailers I thought werewolves are going to play a big deal. Obviously the point of the order is they protect people from the werewolves, but in reality there are not that many werewolves. It's actually pretty disappointing. You encounter them 3-4 times maybe, and it's just, I thought it was gonna be very heavy on the half-breeds, and to me that was just a bit disappointing, because you end up just basically shooting rebels most of the time, and you can shoot humans in any game. You know, I thought this was maybe going to be something a little bit different, but even though they're there, they kind of take a backseat, like I said, to the rebels, basically kind of trying to bring this uprising, because they believe that, without going into too much detail, because I don't want to give any spoilers on a story, I would never spoil anything in a review, but basically they believe that there is corruption and not everything going on right, and basically you are an individual called Grayson, or as he's known in the order as Sir Galahad, and he has to basically there are questions about is everything right, so he basically has to go out and find out the truth, because he fights the good fight and believes in integrity and national hero, all of that kind of, I suppose, cliche stuff. Do you find out everything at the end? No, you do not. I will say that much. This game there's a few cliffhangers left in. Some people on the internet again have not been happy at how open this kind of game just kind of finished. I don't personally have a problem with that. I like the ending. It's good that we have some cliffhangers. We never really have that in video games, and it sets it up nicely for what inevitably will be a series of these games. You know, Sony and Santa Monica and all that would not have invested this kind of money into a you know, into this game if it was just going to be a single game. They're hoping to build a franchise here. You know, they've built the engine, they've built up a lot of marketing on this game, so I would be very surprised if we don't see another Order in the next couple of years. So how does this game actually look? Fantastic. It looks beautiful. That is, no matter what anyone is saying anywhere, the unanimous consent is that this game is one of, if not the best looking games on consoles today, and they're all right. This really is the best visual experience I think I've had on a console that I can remember so far. It's definitely the best looking game I've played from the new generation, and I would really recommend when you get into this, make sure you've got a good TV. So obviously if you don't have a good TV, go and buy one, and then kind of just switch all the lights out and kind of really immerse yourself in this experience. And on top of that, not only does it look good, that's just kind of the character models and the scenery and like the explosions and absolutely everything. The sound goes with it just as well. The environment noises, the explosions, the gunfire, all really good, and the voice acting is pretty good as well. I was a bit worried at first. There was a few lines in there that sounded a little bit like they'd almost been recorded in a tin box, and I was like, oh, I don't know if I like this. This is a bit weird, but I don't know if that was my speakers or anything. But I noticed it a few times earlier on in the game, but throughout the rest of the game, no problems at all. And the voice acting was, for the most part, on point. Again, the dialogue wasn't always the best, so some of the writing can be questioned, but the actual acting itself was really, really good. So the thing everyone wants to talk about really is the gameplay, because back onto the actual presentation itself, you know, there was talk of a lot of kind of, it was all about the cinematic experience and the heavy quick time events in all of the game. And even though from gameplay to kind of quick time it is very seamless, people have not been happy with the level of quick time, and I can understand why people aren't happy. There is quite a lot, and there is long period, well, not long periods, but there are reasonable periods where you're not doing anything. I personally didn't have that much of a problem with it. I was kind of enjoying it as the experience it was, and the important thing was when there was gameplay, it's really good. You know, it's a third-person cover shooter at heart. The shooting mechanics are really good. The gun battles you have are really intense. There's a couple of them, one in a courtyard, one at docks, and another one at kind of like a palace, which are all kind of very, very intense, and they're just a lot of fun. Sometimes they're a bit infuriating because there are just so many people, and the shotgun specialists, as they call them, they're really powerful. But other than that, the only criticism I'd say from the actual kind of shooting side is that, one, the kind of camera is kind of so close to your shoulder that when you're in cover you can't see anything else, so the whole point of a cover shooter kind of gets negated because you have to come out of cover to actually see anything. And also there's not enough shooting in the game. That's basically my main gripe, because I enjoyed it when it was, and I just wished there was a little bit more. Now, I still enjoyed the experience as a whole, but the actual shooting, there could have still been more. I would have liked a little bit more in the game. Talking of the shooting, I can't talk about it without mentioning the weapons. Now, we're in as I said, an alternate history London, and the main thing about this is the Industrial Revolution happened a lot earlier on, so we have kind of all these kind of scientific weapons and communicators, technology that wasn't around in the 1800s. But the coolest weapon, I think, in this game is the thermite rifle, where you basically shoot a round of kind of thermites, kind of like a flammable kind of air, like kind of gas or whatever it is exactly, towards an enemy, and then once they've had this thermite put all over them, that you basically launch a flare at them, and they go up in flames. I mean, it's awesome. It is as awesome as it sounds. Again, the only problem is you don't get these scientific weapons enough. There's a couple of them, I won't spoil all of them, but you don't get them enough in the game for my liking. Again, I thought there was going to be a very heavy usage on these, but for the most part you're using rifles, pistols, shotguns and machine guns. Although I will say one of the shotguns is a triple barrel where it does shoot 3 rounds at once, and that is devastating. You can shoot limbs clean off, which is also pretty cool as well. So in terms of other gameplay, there's not obviously, but there is some hand-to-hand combat involved as well, which is pretty similar to what you have in most games, kind of like an Uncharted, just a single button command which kind of launches into like a mini quick time event, which leads to the opponent being kind of taken down. There is also a stealth mode. There's a couple of missions when there is stealth, and that's not good. There's no point trying to pretend that this is good. It is infuriating, because it's just a complete change of pace in the game. When you can kind of take cover, you can get shot, but it's not the end of the world. You shoot them, etc., etc., back and forth. Shooting, how a shooting game should be. When you go into the stealth mode, if they see you, they one shot in the face and you're dead, and you have to go all the way back to the start. And there's this one in a courtyard, and it is just painfully annoying. The first time I played it, it took me more times than it should have to get through this stage, because you have to basically take out 8 enemies or so without being seen, and it's just not the strength for this game, and I don't quite understand why it was there. You know, I can understand having to be quiet because of the story, but the fact that all of a sudden they can shoot you one shot in the head when they haven't been able to do it throughout the whole game, it makes no sense. And hopefully they'll learn from that experience next time, because it was a frustrating part of the game. Another kind of frustration, although didn't bother me as much as maybe bothered some other people, is the pacing of the game. It is a bit off in places. Sometimes you might be kind of doing this epic gun battle, and all of a sudden it will be over, and then you won't do anything for another 20 minutes. So the pacing is a little bit off. It's not a deal breaker, I don't think, but it's just there are times where maybe you're not doing a lot. It's either just a cutscene or you're walking from point A to B. You'll see there's a mission when you're basically on a giant blimp, effectively, and after that there is a fair period in the game where you just walk, and then it's cutscene and cutscene and cutscene, and it's not bad because it's all about the cinematic experience. And I really, just kind of closing up now, I really enjoyed the whole experience that the Order offers you as a gamer. Yes, it's a little bit different to what we normally play, but at the end of the day, as a gamer, I'm always open-minded to anything that people are trying, and they've tried something a little bit different here. I know games are always supposed to be about interaction and stuff, and some people could say that yes, when you fight the elders, which are kind of like super werewolves, by the way, that the battles aren't as tense as they could be, because they're just quick time events where you just have to flick the button on the stick rather than actually shooting them and taking them down. But I think it works really well, and you know, it still looks good. Okay, yes, you might not be doing a huge amount, but it still works really well. And on that basis, you know, I do think that it's a game that I can recommend to most people. Now, there will be some people out there that do like their games to be very action heavy, kind of a non-stop action, and they're not big on the whole cinematic. They just want to go in, get hold of the character and shoot everyone. You know, maybe more like a GTA or something like that. Maybe in that instance this game's not going to be something for you, but for the most part it's a really, really good game, and the experience itself is something different. And I kind of just look back at games like Assassin's Creed, the first one, and also maybe a little bit lesser extent, but also the first Uncharted. Neither of those games were amazing, but they took new ideas and they learned from them, and then they went on to make fantastic sequels. And I strongly believe that the individuals at Santa Monica and Ready at Dawn, if given the chance, they would take the criticism. I'm sure it will upset them. No one likes being criticised, but they will learn from the mistakes they've made in this game to make what already is a really good game, but they'll go and make it even better. So I just hope that they get the support to do that. In terms of what I would score this game, I kind of to and fro with it a little bit, on kind of what did I really think it was, or what's it worth. And at the end of the day, a game is all about the experience and how much fun you have with it. And at the end of the day, I had a great experience. It was great fun. There's some nice little Easter eggs in there as well. So based on that, I have to give it an 8 because it is a great game. I don't understand the hate on the internet for this game. It's different. You know, it is very cinematic, but it's not too cinematic. I mean, we have games that are a lot more cinematic out there. Maybe because it was marketed as a third-person kind of action cover shooter, people are left with a bit of a sour taste in their mouth because it's not action-heavy as they liked. But I think it's a really good game, and I recommend it to almost anyone out there. So if you haven't played the Order yet, I would recommend try and pick up a copy. You know, I wouldn't say you have to wait for the price to drop, as some people are saying. And you know, I've played it through twice. I enjoyed it, and I'm sure at some point down the line I will go back to it and play it again. So there you go. That's my review of The Order 1886. If you did enjoy it, please do give it a like. Also, do leave your comments down below. I know this has been a very dividing topic, so let me know how wrong I am in the comments down below, or you know, even more so if you agree with me. But I'm always happy to have conversations about video games, so do let me have those down below. Obviously, please remember to subscribe to the channel so you can keep up to date with all of our regular videos. But for now, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you all next time.